Now, there's a caller from Alaska, and it's Prentiss. Are you there, Prentiss? Hello, Prentiss.
Taking my call, Alan.
Yeah.
Since you started the show off talking about the New Age spirituality, I wanted to go into some things I discovered about how they're indoctrinating the kids here. That's with what's called antroposophy, and that's spelled ANTHROPOSOPHY. And they're being taught this among Waldorf schools.
That's right, yeah.
And this is something that I was originally, I originally found this from a Fox News article. It's titled, "Where's Adolf?" And basically, when you go to their teacher website, and the teacher website is openwall.com, and Waldorf is spelled WALDORF. And when you go to that teacher site, you have to click on where it says anthropy. And on that page, it reads reincarnation and karma. It says every Waldorf teacher reads a Western approach to reincarnation and karma in Waldorf teacher training.
Yeah.
It is an essential subject for acquiring a Waldorf teaching credential. You may ask yourself how this subject is relevant to your child's education. But remember that Waldorf schools are ran by anthroposophists. It's easy to understand why every Waldorf teacher needs to learn reincarnation and karma. After all, reincarnation and karma are core teachings of Rudolph Steiner's antroposophy. Waldorf teachers learn how to lead their students through the process of reincarnation. It helps what they need to study.
Yeah, hold on a second, and we'll be back after this break. Hi, folks. We're back cutting through the matrix, and we've still got Prentiss on the line from Alaska talking about Rudolf Steiner and his schooling system. Are you still there, Prentiss?
Yes, I sure am, Alan. Thanks. Continue on this teachers. Now, like I said, this is their teachers' instruction website here. So this isn't, me reading from some blog or something like that trying to mischaracterize the schools.
Yeah.
But continuing on, it says, Waldorf teachers learn how to lead their students through the process of reincarnation. Why else would they need to study reincarnation in a teaching program? It says not only Waldorf teachers need to learn how to be a positive influence on your reincarnated child, they need to learn how to avoid injuring your child's journey of reincarnation. Now, this is all paid for by tax dollars right here. Now, what's interesting about this Rudolf Steiner guy is that he was the head of the Theosophical Society in Germany. And
right.
He was also one of Madame B's disciples, pretty much. But yeah, I'm going to read one more section here from the Waldorf Teachers website. Most of that which contributes to our work as teachers, preparation work, artistic work, even meditation, is under the guidance of Lucifer.
Yeah, because they...
It's under the guidance of Lucifer.
Yeah, because the Lucis Trust was a theosophical newspaper, and they changed it from the Lucifer Trust. That was their main publication, to the Lucis Trust. It's still on the go today.
Exactly. It says, we can become great teachers under his supervision, for he is responsible for much of what has blossomed in the unfolding of civilization and culture in the past. And that's they posted on their website from the Waldorf Teacher's Survival Guide. Waldorf Teacher's Survival Guide.
Survivally.
Yeah, survival.
Yeah, surviving death or what? Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
You know, and it says, Lucifer is a Beelite who incarnated as a human being 3,000 years before Christ.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And see, you understand that too. You'll see that often on Masonic, including theosophical buildings, because they're part of Freemasonry now. They were accepted into the lodge, and you'll see the date that the building was founded, its foundation, but they also have another one next to it, another date with the 4,000 years or something tacked onto it. It's called AL. That's after Lucifer. Yeah, that's right. So you're quite right in that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it says, Steiner says, it is revealed to the retrospective clairvoyant gaze that it was an actual human incarnation of the Luciferic power. Mm-hmm. And this incarnation of Lucifer in humanity, which in a certain way has been achieved, was the origin of the widely extended ancient wisdom based on the third post-Atlantean civilization.
Yeah. Yeah, through all their teachings. Yeah.
Now, I was looking into Steiner's philosophy a little bit deeper, and basically teaches moral relativism too.
That's right. That's right.
And this is an actual excerpt from one of his. He says, in the absolute sense, nothing is good in itself, but is always good or bad according to the use to which it is put.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So this is being taught in the schools, and it's all across the country here.
Oh, it's all done. It's all actually done. It's second or third generation now. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why they can rush ahead with the whole agenda. There's no opposition because people are so into, well, I guess anything goes, you know. And it's Talmudic too, as Freemasonry is. You got your oral traditions, which are the secrets. Then there's the stuff they publish, which is the exoteric for everybody. And they also have in their kaballah, of course, they all go into kaballah. That there's moral. That's where moral relativity comes from. The whole idea of Kabbalism, and there's no right or wrong. Something always benefits, and good can actually come out of evil. That's what they say. This is nature's way. They say, you know.
Yeah. At first this was only, this whole New Age phenomenon, this New Age spirituality was, was popular in, the white middle class community,
mm-hmm.
And up until they brought Oprah out, it was pretty unpopular in the minorities community,
Yeah, sure.
But after her and, her Course in Miracles and things like that,
yeah.
Now you hear all the Christians, in the black communities walking around talking about how they're going to check their zodiac and,
yeah.
they're dating a guy who's a Gemini and stuff like that, and because they're a Sagittarius and it's a
sure.
et cetera, et cetera.
Well, this goes to show you, here's the whole the problem with society. When you look at the masses, now technically it's a weird word, the mass and the masses. The mass includes all the masses. It's like a singular entity. The whole idea is to come out of what's ever given to control the mass and become an individual. Most folk don't. They want to belong to the mass and be popular. Whatever's popular within the mass, they want to belong to it. And the culture creators that give all this stuff out there, and Oprah is definitely one of them, are very good at putting that across to them because it fascinates them. It takes all the burden off them from having to have morals at all and having to decide about morality. It takes all that burden away from you. Anything goes. And, of course, even that song itself was from, 1934 when they started pushing the whole moral relativity idea. And that's why they gave the song out, Anything Goes. Look at the words of that song. Yeah. Yeah. The culture industry, yeah. Nothing is out. There's nothing out there by accident. Anything from the top down, and culture's always given from the top down, never from the bottom up. And that's what Plato said all those years ago. It has to come from the top. If anything happened from the bottom level, the true grassroots level, they have to squash it very quickly because it would have untold effects on their plans at the top. So anything that's pushed out for the mass to gobble up and becomes popular, and that's music, movies, everything, the whole entertainment industry, and including the religious industry as well, is definitely part of the whole kit and caboodle. Yeah.
This is absolutely amazing. And, to expand on what you were saying about, this creation, now the Course in Miracles was actually created by two people who worked for the CIA.
They worked for the government, that's right, and she started channeling the information, and she started to channel all the information that Jesus forgot to tell you. You see, so they changed everything, and of course he happened to write it all down supposedly, and that became the New Age Bible for lots of people too. Yeah. Again, see, if you go into the histories of, and I've got some links to videos up there, how the CIA have been involved in mind control, including all of this New Age stuff, because what better scenario than to have volunteers willingly come in thinking they're going to have a God experience and God's going to talk to you. And they can pretty well guarantee it, because you'll get voice to skull, and you're all happy with, and you become a very good apostle and disciple. And I talked to one person who had been through this training, and she worked for the United Nations. She said that bombing the people over in the Middle East was okay because they had decided to come back in their lifetime to be bombed. That was their karma, to come back in and be those people that they are now or were now in those places when they got bombed. And she felt no guilt whatsoever. It was a way of karma. I mean, this is a fantastic form of mind control.
That goes right in line with eugenics too.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if people are born into their caste system, then that pretty much excludes the idea of charity or anything, because it's inborn within them. Mm-hmm. So there's no need for charity. There's no need for education.
Look at India. Look at India, where all the reincarnation business really was that was their homeland, India. And the beggars at the side of the street. I talked to doctors from India who told me that patients in Britain, for instance, wouldn't even get treatment. They should lie at the side of the street and die because they were penniless. So if you're poor, you're nothing. It's a caste system. And you would come back as in a higher caste if you were worthy to be worked on and treated. And I says, well, just as well, that there's a different system in Britain, because that's what he said, that those people that he was treating in Britain, the elderly, would be left at the side of the street and die, and they should be. That's what he believed. Yeah, just like India.
And you bring that stuff up to people, and a lot of them will say, well, that's also borrowed from Buddhism too. And
oh, sure.
Buddhism is great.
Well, Buddhism is wonderful because you can get into your own little headspace and you can go wherever with it, and never be responsible for anything. Yeah.
Or you can go to a monastery and just sit around in a robe and chew soybeans all day.
It's better than working, isn't it, for a living? Yeah.
But the name of the people who created that Course in Miracles, the guy's name was William Thetford, and the woman's name was Helen Schumann.
That's right.
And they both worked with the CIA to create the personality assessment system.
Yeah, that's right. They were right into mind alteration, personality assessment, pick at the personalities, get their whole profile, see how we can alter, and basically, again, combining that with all the data they drew from the MK Ultra experiments, remake a new person as a good, efficient disciple of your cause, absolutely. And that was to get used on all citizenry through other techniques that they would be unaware of. Well, through propaganda, all media, and so on, yeah. That's how it's done.
But when you look at the Course in Miracles, their workbook, oh man,
Mm-hmm.
these teachings are crazy, man. And Oprah has all her listeners, complete all of these teachings one month in this course.
It's interesting too that Blavatsky said, that their main enemy was the churches, the established churches, because they had to destroy culture to remake society, order out of chaos. And they would eventually bring it through the churches and by using religious techniques on the people. And that's exactly what they've done. They've used religion, and then they've altered religion, and then they've given you a new religion. And that's how they've done it. Because it's a beautiful religion because there's no real rules. There's no right and wrong. And you can never blame yourself. I remember Shirley MacLaine said the reason she slept with so many men is because she slept with them all in their previous lives. And I thought, well, that's an easy way to get away with it, That's how they justify everything they do. And they don't have any guilt. They don't get weighed down by guilt. In other words, what they almost do to you is create a kind of psychopathic personality. That's what you find. Well, that's the way it has to go. Those folk have to die off because they're starving. Those children have to die off because we're using cluster bombs on them, because it's their karma. And don't worry anyway, they'll come back again as something else. What an incredible mind job, eh? Yeah.
It's expert. I mean, it's incredible. These people are good, man.
They're very good.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Yes, but you better be careful though. You better be careful. There's people who will hear this stuff, and it's designed to hook folk right in. I mean, I'm always very careful about links, etc., because there's a lot of people out there who literally, they go in with a kind of open mind or a bit of prejudice against something, but these things are designed to suck you in and entice you and intrigue you. And I've known people who've been lost for years in this mind job. So I never advise them to go into it unless they really know who they are themselves. In other words, you're in control of your own mind, and you can discern what you're reading, Yeah.
Oh, good point. Good point.
Yeah. Oh, you have to.
I just wanted to call in and share that with you. Great show. I appreciate you doing. Because I'll tell you what, man, I heard all you get, and criticism you got on all those older radio shows used to go on, the one you get invited back on after you talked about this topic. But, I mean, that shows you, how many people have, been sucked into this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But, I appreciate what you're doing, Alan, and you have a good week.
And you too. Thanks for calling. Yeah, it's really astonishing, as I say, that when you realize what's happening and what's already happened and how it's even taught in school, and not just in those particular schools, but in general schooling as well. They can teach this kind of stuff too through little stories to tell the children out of books and all the rest of it. And moral relativity is taught from a very early age now. And again, you've got the parents that way. Now, there's a thing too, here's another thing too, it's what I remember too, that eugenics is tied up with the controllers of this movement. And they were the ones also who got a bad name after World War II, when it was exposed that so many were killed by the Nazis. But because so much of the world wanted communism, they didn't mention that the Soviets had been slaughtering people for the same reasons for an awful long time. That's where Hitler got his education from, the communists. And that's mentioned in the movie, the Soviet Story. It's a very good documentary. If you can get a hold of it. Very hard to get a hold of now. They pulled it off. But, so what they did with the eugenics is they changed it into too many people, too many of the wrong kind of people. Oh, they're eating up everything on the planet and so on. And the big boys, big foundations use them. They use the fringe group and the ones that are a bit crazy, hype them up, make them crazier until they're fanatics. Now they're teaching the stuff in school.